Moenbryda, Mask of Grief. Oh no, I'm gonna cry! Moenbryda has a request to make of you. Have you a moment, Kat? I believe Ida wished to have a word with you. I should consider it a personal favor if you would lend a sympathetic ear to her troubles. She has not been herself since Moenbryda's passing, and my heart aches to see her so downcast. I'm gonna cry. Hi, Ida. Oh, I'm gonna cry. Hey, it's Kat! Great! Oh, it's no use. I'm trying to stay positive, but it's just hard, you know? The thing is, I know Moenbryda would tell me off if she saw me moping around like this, which is why I decided to cheer myself up by getting her a special flower. I placed an order for a moon daisy with Rowena a little while ago, and it's ready to be picked up. The trouble is, I find Rowena a bit difficult at the best of times, and, well, this isn't one of them. I know it's silly, but I just can't face it at the moment. So I was wondering, do you think you could maybe collect it for me? I have the coin to pay for the flower right here. Thank you so much. I'll be waiting for you in the daisy, at Wrathfrost. Hey. Hi, Rowena. I don't remember your voice. What can I do for you today, adventurer? Eldritch trinket to trade. Eh? They've got you running errands now. Them scions really know how to make the most of your talents, don't they? Send in the Savior of Eorzea to the Bleeding Market. Fine use of your time, that is. Seriously, though, you'd best learn how to say no. They'll have you mucking out the chocobo stables next. Anyway, what was it that you were here to pick up? A moon daisy, was it? Here then, take it. And tell that Ida lass I've got a wide selection of headwear in stock if she ever decides to replace that dowdy old mask of hers. Gods knows she needs to. Rude. Leave Ida alone. Hi, Ida. Rowena can be so annoying. She just will not take no for an answer. Every time I visit her, she insists I replace my visor with something more fashionable. And when I tell her I like it just fine the way it is, she says it again, and then again, and then again. It drives me crazy. What I mean to say is I really appreciate you doing this for me. So anyway, let's see it. Moenbryda loved these things, you know. I hope that somewhere, somehow, she knows I'm still thinking of her. Aww.
I'll never forget you, Moon. None of us will.
The song riseth to a crescendo.
What does that mean? Oh. That's what that means.
Is that what I think it is?
Hello, can you hear me? We have received grave tidings from Ishgard. Pray return to the Rising Stones at once.
Pray return to the Rising Stones. Dragons are on the loose. All right, Alphino, what's up? My apologies for the interruption. I was deeply saddened to learn of Moenbryda's passing. Her loss will be sorely felt. Alas, recent developments in Ishgard leave us little time to mourn. The envoy from Korthus will soon arrive, and we must hasten to hear her report. Okay. Defenders for Ishgard. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, cutscene. The envoy is here. Oh. I thank you for receiving me at such short notice. Time is of the essence, so I would forego the usual pleasantries if I may. Certainly. You come with news of the Dravanians? Aye. The dragons have begun their attack in earnest. The first wave reached the Central Highlands a short while ago, and battle has joined soon after. Sir Imric himself sallied forth with a contingent of temple knights and several companies of the noble house's finest. Though the beasts were ultimately forced into retreat, our victory, if such it may be called, came at the cost of many of our own, too many. We will not withstand a second wave should the Dravanians renew their assault. You paint a grim picture, my lady. It is reinforcements you seek, then? We do. Though it pricks our pride, it is plain we cannot protect Ishgard with our ranks thus thinned by the horde. Sir Imric would meet with you to discuss the possibility of enlisting your aid. Very well, I shall depart for Korthus at once. I must warn you, however, that the involvement of the Crystal Braves is by no means assured. Our commitment to quelling the unrest in Uldum must take precedence. It is with such contingencies in mind that I must make another request. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn are known for sharing close ties with all three of the grand companies of Eorzea. Would you consent to plead our case to their leaders? Oh, how the turntables, Ishgard! Oh, how the turntables! Though I will gladly appeal to the grand companies on your behalf, I dare not promise a favorable reply. You need say no more. Considering our past dealings with the Eorzean Alliance, I can well imagine how our plea will be received. But the fate of Ishgard hangs in the balance. We must explore every avenue still open to us, no matter how unpromising. I see. Very well. I shall send envoys to each of the allied nations, and have them present your request directly to the heads of the grand companies. In the event that your plea does receive a favorable answer, know that any support is certain to be conditional. Demands will be made of Ishgard. That is only to be expected. Rest assured that I speak with Sir Imric's authority on this matter, and that our actions are fully sanctioned by the Holy See. Which brings me to my final request, a personal appeal to you, Warrior of Light. The Lord Commander much desires to speak with you, regardless of your fellow's involvement. You faced Midgardsormr and survived. Anything you can share of your experience may yield us an advantage over our foe. I mean, I have the bitch right here. He can talk right to you. Thank you. You wear the mantle of a hero well. 'Twould seem that roads lead us both to Camp Dragonhead. Seek me out when you arrive, Kat. Da-na. Is there another cutscene? Oh, there is. Okay. Oh, fuck, I don't remember her voice.
The sons must answer for their father's misdeeds. Only then will the cycle be broken.
I don't got a voice. Shit, let's go. Oh, she glow? Ma'am, please do not Shiva out again. What is that? I don't remember that. What the fuck? Oh. Did you just obliterate a shield?
Brothers and sisters of the heavens, we raise our voices and join you in the chorus. The sinner's feeble magics are undone. Come, claim your retribution.
I love how evil she feels. I love it. It's so good. It seems I was the swifter cat. You too, however, have arrived with me to spare. Arrived with time. Not with me! With time! You have arrived with time to spare, for our host has yet to make an appearance. The murmurings about camp tell of some manner of trouble at the gates of judgment. In the Lord Commander's absence, I suggest we visit the place and find out what is afoot. Okay. Sure. I'll go see what is afoot. Heretic scum! How dare they meddle with our divine protections! I shall rid our nation of their blasphemy, even if it means cutting them down one by one. Trembling Temple Knight. We need not fret overmuch. There are yet several layers of arcane protection that shield the city from invasion. Mother will be fine. Aw, buddy. Nothing to see there. Nothing suspicious at all. When I laid eyes upon Lady Iceheart, I felt the marrow freeze within my bones. Okay. Bothered Bowman. The gates of judgment are much more than mere doors. They are the outermost layer of Ishgard's magical wards. If our first line of defense can be so easily shattered. Yeah, get good. Okay, anyway. Oh, Alpha. Oh, there's a person in Alpha now. Okay. Twould seem the heretic struck the first and most telling blow against Ishgard. Scions, we expected you at Camp Dragonhead. My apologies. We chanced to hear that there had been trouble at the gates and thought it prudent to investigate the cause. Then you have learned of the heretic's treachery. Lady Iceheart led a force of her followers against our defenders and came close enough to dispel the first of our wards. But let us speak more of this back at the camp. Sir Emmerich waits you. Okay. The worms roar. Alphino seems eager to return to Camp Dragonhead. Lady Iceheart has grown bold indeed if she would risk direct action against the city. Come, let us do as we were bid, and return to Camp Dragonhead. Lord Haurchefant will know where Sir Emmerich means to receive us. He's receiving me, is he? Oh. 'Tis reassuring indeed to behold the countenance of a friend who one's homeland teeters upon the very brink of disaster. Though a single misstep could send us plunging into the abyss, your heroic presence strokes the flames. Stokes, not strokes. I missed my word there. Stokes the flames of courage within my heart. Ah, but you did not come to Dragonhead to listen to my prattling. The Lord Commander has arrived and would treat with you in the intercessory. Okay. What about stroking? I mean stoking. Cat! Greetings, sir. Shall I allow you inside? Apparently not. Yes, please. Bonk. Emmerich, what's... Oh, he flashed in and out of existence for a second. Look at that man spread! Look at him spread! I thank you for coming with such haste, and apologize for my absence. Suffice it to say, Lady Iceheart and her heretics have much to answer for. Yes, we are but recently returned from the gates of judgment ourselves. Given the circumstances, we quite understand if you would prefer to postpone our appointed audience. On the contrary, Master Alphino, I think it more important than ever that this meeting take place. Rest assured I shall return to my post on Ishgard's walls the moment our business is concluded. Before we move on to the subject of reinforcements, however, I would introduce you to a close friend and stalwart ally, Istinian. That's not Istinian. Okay. I was like, wait a second. I just saw more of Istinian's crotch than I ever wanted to see in my life. May I present to you Ishgard's Azure Dragoon? An impressive title, though I confess I know precious little of the Order of the Dragoons. They are formidable warriors all, yet even among such masters of the lance, Istinian is without equal. He, out of all the warriors of Ishgard, was chosen to wield the power of dragons, and may thus contend with any Dravanian. You flatter me much, Lord Commander. So, you are the adventurer of whom they spoke. I see now why my blood fair sang in anticipation of our meeting. Well, now that we have all been introduced, let us proceed to the matter at hand. I would share with you what we have learned of Iceheart's design, and as confessed by the heretics taken captive after their assault on the gates. 'Twould seem that Lady Iceheart and the Dravanians share a common goal, the reclamation of Nidhogg's stolen eye. Nidhogg, one of the 7 great worms. His name features prominently in our nation's history, though once defeated by the hero Haldroth. The beast is said to have terrorized Korthus ever since Ishgard's founding. Aye, many of the scars our walls bear from Nidhogg's relentless efforts to raise the city. The trophy Haldroth plucked from the bested worm's skull, known simply as the Eye, is a treasured relic of Ishgard, and one possessed of untold power. Should it ever be returned to Nidhogg, the dread creature would be restored to the height of his strength, and then no wall or ward we could erect would be stout enough to deny him. My vengeful son hath... What am I looking at? Oh! I think... Is Midgard somewhere behind my bow? My vengeful son hath waged war against Ishgard for 1,000 years. No mortal mind could comprehend the depths of his rancor. The eye itself is secreted deep within the vault. It is kept under heavy guard, surrounded at all times by men and women who have proven their loyalty to the Holy See. But though stout walls and sharp blades may suffice to discourage the heretics, the dragons are another matter. There are individuals within the Dravanian horde whom an entire company of knights would labor to repel, to say nothing of Nidhogg himself. Nor does age rob them of their strength. Through the endless march of years, the dragons endure, patient, calculating, inexorable. You must understand these creatures do not share our perception of time. And that is especially true of the great worms. They who spend centuries in slumber only to wake and resume their campaign as if mere hours had passed. It has been 20 years since Nidhogg last darkened our skies, 20 years for him to gather his strength and for us to bolster our defenses, and now, just as he seemed primed to return, the heretics strike at the gates. You believe that Lady Iceheart is in league with the creature, then? Of that we cannot be certain. Though we know the heretics covet the eye, we have been unable to determine their plans for it. Such questions aside, we must needs address the ragged hole their mistress has seen fit to rend in Ishgard protections. 'Tis a weakness the Dravanians are not like to leave untested. So it would seem. You have described your plight in admirable detail, Lord Commander, yet I cannot help but wonder at your candor. Why share such sensitive information with us? I shall speak plain. Ishgard has need of allies. and would have you bolster your front lines in readiness for the coming battle against the dragons. This much I expected. Unlike our arrangement concerning the Keeper of the Lake, however, only you stand to benefit from our assistance in the matter. I fail to see why we should intervene in a conflict which concerns only Ishgard and Dravania. When the Eorzean Alliance requested Ishgard's assistance during Operation Archon, you refused us. Does it not seem grossly unjust to demand that we now risk our lives in your private war? I make no attempt to defend my country's conduct. I only ask that you consider what would follow were Ishgard to fall. Having razed our city to the ground, the Horde would have little cause to linger, and most would return to their lairs in Dravania. Soon thereafter, the ruins of Korthus would be buried in snow, and the land would become the sole province of beast and beastmen. Until the Garleans of rival, that is. For you may be certain that the Empire would not hesitate to claim Korthus. They would not even have to draw steel. An imperial province sharing a border with Mordona. 7 hells. Ahem, very well. We will assist you in repelling the dragons. The roar of a great worm may have shaken the firmament, but we of Eorzea will not abandon our Ishgardian brothers to face the coming horde alone. Yeah, because we don't want to deal with the consequences. Nor did I ever think you would. Now, upon the matter of the roar. Allow me, Sir Imric. Though through the power of the Eye, I have become the vessel of Nidhogg's strength. His essence has stolen into my very blood. Fear not, I am in full control of my faculties, I assure you, and the Eye itself is of no relevance to this tale. It is not essential that I bear it with me wheresoever I go. Its lingering influence does, however, allow me to hear Nidhogg's voice. Then the worm who roared? Was Nidhogg, aye. He means to hurl his horde against Danafin's collar, and shatter the remaining wards that protect the city. There can be no doubt the worm has summoned his minions to war. Oh, okay. Though the circumstances are far from ideal, this desperate endeavor will at least provide us an opportunity to bring the sister states of Eorzea together in common cause. Sir Emmerich was more ruthless in his negotiations than I had anticipated. I suppose one must give no quarter when one's home is at stake. But did you see the look on his face when he formally requested our assistance? Excuse me. Though the Lord Commander has long campaigned for Ishgard to open its gates to outsiders, I suspect this softening of the Holy See's attitude towards foreign cooperation comes as something of a bittersweet victory. Oh my god, why am I hiccup burping? I'm sorry. Ow. Ah, that sucked. The days ahead promise to be interesting indeed. Alright. So we'll pick this up and continue tomorrow from this one. Committed to the cause! Alphino is ready to begin making preparations for the war. If we are to aid the Ishgardians in the war of theirs, preparations will have to be made, and soon. Before proceeding, however, we must needs return to the Rising Stones and make our report to the antecedent. River said I'm pronouncing antecedent funny. Hi, Minfilia! Oh, cutscene. Oh, it's not even voiced. Or is it?
Alphino, it is good to see you. Tell me, what have you learned?
Pray summon the others. Everyone must hear my report.
So this was all but a taste of what's to come.
Indeed. The main host advances upon Ishgard as we speak.
whose vaunted defenses have been nullified.
Shorn of its wards, the city will bear the full force of Nidhogg's fury.
All those people.
Alphinaud is right. The Dravanians cannot be allowed to prevail. If Ishgard falls, all of Eorzea will suffer the consequences.
Then you agree that we have no choice but to intervene. For the good of the realm, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn and the Crystal Braves must join the defense of Ishgard.
Let there be no ambiguity about what has been proposed. We would be directly intervening in the war. But if all here believe the cause to be just, then to war we shall go. The path we now embark upon is perilous, but I pray you will walk with us to the end. For those we have lost, for those we can yet save.
Then it is settled. I shall inform the Council of our intentions and request that they contribute their own forces to the defense of Ishgard.
Why is that not voiced? Real looks upset. That is real, right? I believe. Committed to the cause. Volunteer Dragon Slayers. Menphilia would have you assist with the preparations being made for the defense of Ishgard. Oh, god damn it. I have bid the Archons travel to their assigned nations. Should the members of the Alliance agree to pledge Grand Company soldiers to Ishgard's cause, our comrades will be on hand to act as intermediaries for the duration of the conflict. The small matter of persuading the Alliance leaders to grant such support I leave to Alphinaud. For you, my friend, a different task awaits. I would have you reach out to your fellow adventurers and gather what allies you may for the coming siege. I would also have you consider the matter of our own security. Revenant's Toll is but a short flight from the snowfields of Korthus. It is not unimaginable that the fighting may spill across the border. Pray brief Slafborn on the brewing conflict and discuss potential contingencies. The frontier settlers must be prepared for aught that might wing its way over our walls. I only hope that such precautions prove unnecessary. Before you leave, might I suggest that you have Tataru accompany you? She has a talent for administration and a firm grasp of the practical challenges we may encounter. Alright, let's go. Let's go talk to Tataru. Oh, that darkness lasted forever.
We are rather close to Korthus, aren't we? We'd best use our own defenses and take stock of our supplies. Oh, and we'll also need to have beds and bandages laid out just in case. A good receptionist is always ready for any eventuality. Let's go, Kat. I have 101 things to discuss with Slafborn.
Okay. I appreciate the warning. If the war is coming to Korthus, then the toll must be made ready. I'll increase the number of patrols and lookouts immediately. I'll also see about finding room for an infirmary, as well as temporary housing for victims of the conflict. Ishgard has done well by us in the past, and I would return the favor. But as for rounding up volunteers for the fighting itself, I'm afraid I must disappoint you.
I will not send my fellow guild members to die on Ishgardian soil, and I am certain headquarters will say the same. There will be no official Adventurers Guild presence at this siege. That said, each adventurer is of course free to do as he or she will. I shall have a word with some of the more capable colleagues on your behalf, and you might try your luck here in Revenant's-Tull. I dare say there are a few stout souls about town who will answer your call to arms.
Like Tataru?
Oh, okay.
Let's get started, shall we? We have a town to rouse.
Oh, we rousing people? What we rousing? Accomplished adventurer. Another cussing.
Spare me your talk of glory and fame. I'm not in the habit of volunteering for lost causes. I've survived this long by trusting my instincts, and my instincts tell me to stay well away from Ishgard.
I mean, fair. Hey, Real. I don't remember his voice. Oh.
Oh, are we having a secret meeting?
Ishgard sounds like she's a right mess, but that ain't what I wanted to talk to you about. I need you to cast your mind back to that scuffle with the Empire out by the processing plant. A lad from Little Alamigo by the name of Wilred was there with the 4th that day, and I want to know if you've seen him since, have you? What happened to Wilred? God damn it, I feared as much. No one's bloody seen him. It's like the ground opened up and swallowed him whole. But that ain't all. Around the time Wilred stopped turning up for duty, then black market weapons went missing from our vault in Ulda. So now, of course, half the braves suspect the lad of making off with the goods. Folk like to believe our company is a disciplined fighting force, but as you and me both know, it's no more than a motley collection of mercenaries, adventurers, and Grand Company veterans. The only thing that binds us together is some vague oath about fighting for the freedom of all. That and a steady pay. Now, compared to most others in this crew, Wilred's a fresh-faced novice, a bleeding whelp against wolves. But the boy's got passion. When he talked about being a guardian of Eorzea, he bloody well meant it. A lad like him wouldn't rob us blind and bugger off with that. Like that. He ain't that type. And then, and this is just between you and me, mind, there's the fact that the lad wanted to tell me about something queer he'd noticed in the ledgers. Something about the Braves' numbers not adding up. Aye, there's a villain in the end of this tale we stumbled on. Trail. I'll bet me good eye on it. It ain't young Wilred. Any road, you've got a war to rage, so I'll let you get on. I just thought someone should know. I'll be seeing you, Kat. Please be safe, Real. I like you. I like you a lot. Hello? Angular adventurer. Volunteer my services in the defense of Ishgard? I think not. Dragons claimed the lives of every one of my brothers. I do not mean to offer them mine. 'Twas to escape such a fate that I took up the mantle of adventurer in the first place. I would sooner die in the pursuit of fortune than huddled behind an icy wall. Fair. I don't blame any of these people. Austere adventurer. Is that how you pronounce that? Sell me a blade to the Ishgardians? Well, them dragons are a fearsome lot, but I'd slay me fair share if the coin was good. I've worked for one of them knights before, you know. Watched me like a bloody hawk he did. Still, I'd put up with worse than that for a heavy purse. Did we get one? I can't tell if he agreed or not. There they go. Adventurous Frontier Hand. Hello? Is this not Roxas? It kind of looks like Roxas. Anyway. So Ishgard seeks sellswords to bolster its ranks, eh? Though I am not sure I like the sound of this siege, those nobles will surely be generous with their rewards. Ah, but I have pledged myself to guard Revenant's Toll. Modest work though it is, I am loath to break the terms of my contract. What to do, what to do. I can't tell what you decided either, but okay. Tataru!
There you are, Kat. So, did you sway any hearts?
By Lalamoo.
1 or 2, eh? Well, added to mine, that makes 3 or 4, not including Slaffborn's friends.
won't have the largest company in the army, but I'd say one Revenant's Toll veteran is worth a dozen clinking knights at least.
Okay. An allied perspective. Has a message from you from Alphino.
Oh, I've been so caught up with recruiting that I almost forgot. There's been a word from Alphino. Apparently, the Alliance leaders are convening in Ulda to discuss Ishgard's plight, and they've requested your presence, as usual. Anyway, you'd best make your way to Ulda, or you'll be late. Alphino said that he would meet you on the Royal Promenade.
Okay. I was not expecting that quest to be so quick. Alphino, save me. My apologies for calling you away from your tasks. I had hoped to proceed with these negotiations one leader at a time, but it seems my urgent requests for an audience have prompted a gathering of the council. Needless to say, I feel obligated to attend. The alliance leaders are already seated within. Let us join them, shall we? Is it voiced? I would like it to be voiced. Ow.
We are well aware of Ishgard's dilemma, and we agree with your assessment.
Then I trust there are no objections to the Crystal Brave's intervention.
Ulda has none.
Gridania does not object.
The Crystal Braves are yours to command, Alphino. Do what you will. We shall pray for your success.
It was my hope that you would offer more substantial aid than prayer. I know it is within your means.
Alphino telling it like it is.
Do not presume that you have knowledge of our every concern. The Garleans and the Beast Tribes are but two of many. We are not in a position to contribute greatly to the defense of Ishgard. Not when our own homes are still under siege.
Okay.
We dare not leave our interests in Cartano undefended as well. Telegi Adalegi and his ilk would seize control of the territories in our absence.
She's not wrong.
The enemy is at their gates, and you would cower behind yours?
No one is cowering, boy. We will offer what support we can.
Aye, support. A handful of men and no more.
Would that we could commit more than a token force to this cause. Yet there are others to whom you might turn. The free companies ever want for work.
Ah, yes. The free companies. They're not like to turn you down.
I beg your pardon? You would entrust the survival of Ishgard to sell swords? Crises like these are the very reason why this alliance was formed. It is our duty to aid our fellow man.
My duty is to my country and my people. If you expect us to place the welfare of a foreign power above our own, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Lest you doubt, Limsa comes first, then the Alliance, and finally, circumstances permitting, Ishgard and the rest. If you cannot understand so simple a concept, then you have no place at this table.
Damn.
Forgive me, Admiral. I was careless in my choice of words.
I suggest you assemble a party of elite adventurers, assuming you haven't already. Your fellows served us well during Operation Archon. I dare say they will do so again. If I may, Your Grace, I wish to propose a redistribution of forces. If we entrust the security of Ulda to the Brass Blades for a time, we can dispatch a larger force to Ishgard.
Is Nana
Your Grace?
Okay? Are you okay, honey?
Yes. Yes, of course. Do what you will.
I adore Nanamo and Raban. They care for each other so much.
Is Her Grace not feeling well?
To the best of my knowledge, Her Grace is in perfect health.
I see. Carry on.
All right, Alphino. Oh, another cousin. Okay. Once again, I owe you an apology. It seems you have been conscripted into leading in a contingent of adventurers on yet another mission of inestimable danger. But I fear we have been left with little alternative. We cannot well abandon Lord Haurchefant and Sir Emmerich to their fate. We must abide by the Council's decision, as short-sighted as it is, and strive to fulfill our roles of Eorzea's guardians. Captain Ilberd, what news? Then the assault has begun. We have but this moment concluded our audience with the Alliance leaders. Move our forces into position. Your unit will join House Durandare at the Steel Vigil. Man the cannons alongside the knights, and thin the Dravanian horde ere they descend upon Ishgard. I will join you as soon as I am able. Kat, I would have you and your adventurer allies bolster the defenses of the Steps of Faith. At the Steps of Faith?! Isn't this a solo duty now? Report first to Sir Marcelane at the Gates of Judgment, and he will direct you to where you are needed most. May the gods grant us victory. Steps of Faith is no longer a queuable duty, right? It's a solo duty. Let's fucking go. All right, Marcelane. You are the appointed captain of the sellsword contingent? Then welcome. There is no shortage of blade work to be done. As we speak, Dravanian skirmishing parties are harrying positions across Central Highlands. I have assigned the Crystal Braves and your fellow adventurers to contain these scattered attacks, and for the present, I would have you join them. This is, of course, merely a precursor to the assault on Ishgard proper. The wily serpents seek to divide and confuse our forces, but we will not be so easily drawn out of position. The Temple Knights will remain on the Steps of Faith and continue our preparations. When the Horde arrives in force, they shall face a wall of Ishgardian steel. Report back to me once their advanced skirmishers are slain. Okay. This is not Steps of Faith worthy yet. Hello. Ah! Oh, well, I just made everyone get hit. They're fine. They don't have health pools. Alright. Alright. Oh, there's more. Of course there's more! Guess I could focus one down. Dun, dun. Oh, that cracked my neck. That was good. Let's go. Ba-da-ba-ba. Okay. Oh, I guess I don't help them. Oops. Arm's length. Let's go. Ah. Ah. Excuse me. Nope. Let's not aggro an ice sprite. Ah. Ah. Excuse me. Also, hold on. Please let me eat egg. And hold on, let me eat another egg. Okay. Ah! fine. Egg. Ah! Please do not. Please do not. Ba-da-ba-ba. Oh. Horde Commander! Da-da-da-da. Fine, I'll take out the big guns for him. Songs and all. He's also fairly chonky. Ah. Thank the gods you're here. I'm not lighting you all ablaze. I don't know what you're talking about. Haha. I did it. Cats to blame, you give bards a bad name. Fender rude. Marceline, I did it.
What news, adventurer? The reinforcements? Decimated, you say? Dravanian devils, damn their scaly hides. Hold fast to your grief and fury, sir. We will avenge the deaths of your fellows in the battle to come.
Okay. The steps of faith. Sir Marceline wishes to prepare you for the siege of Ishgard. Oh.
Ere you commit yourself to the siege, you should know what it is you are tasked with defending. Beyond the gates of judgment lie the steps of faith, a great bridge of stone that leads directly to the city of Ishgard. More than simply a means to cross the sea of clouds, the bridge serves as a foundation for the arcane wards that form the barrier we call Danafin's Collar. Alas, in dispelling the barrier's outermost layer, that thrice-damned witch, Iceheart, stripped the bridge of its protection, and thus are the dragons now able to land unhindered upon the steps of faith. Should the Dravanians succeed in destroying the remainder of the wards, the winged devils will be free to swarm within the city itself. Needless to say, we cannot suffer that to happen. It shall be our task as defenders to prevent any harm from coming to those parts of the bridge wherein the wards are sealed. 3 yet remain, and we have dispatched our forces accordingly. I would ask you and your comrades to accompany our defenders at the outermost ward.
I should hope that includes us as well. I don't know who this is. Oh, hey, the Scions.
The Scions of the Seventh Dawn? We could not well stand idly while the Horde threatens the good people of Ishgard.
Indeed. To do otherwise would go against all that Master Louisoix has taught us. As for while we may be of most acquaintance, I think it prudent we divide into 2 groups. Ida and I will join the rear guard.
They like to be in the rear.
Right. If the dragons should reach us, we'll be sure to give them what for.
Thank you, all of you. Pray speak with me again when your preparations are complete, and together we shall stand against the Horde. Alright, let's go. Hell yeah. Steps of Faith already? Yeah, but also it's solo duty, and I've never done the solo duty for it. I've only ever done it queued. So, I trust you are ready then. Good. Come, let us make for the battlefield. Yeah, okay, we'll see how this goes. Oh, that's a big dragon. It's a big boy. He's even got hip fins. Wings? Fins. Those look like fins. Okay. Alright. That is intimidating. Bet the other cities would be willing to help Ishgard if they drew friendly smiley faces on their helmets. What? Okay. Lucia, we claim victory this day, or Ishgard falls. Accept the fury into your heart and defend this bridge with your life's blood. We fight to protect our home, to fight Ishgard. Oh, what am I doing? This dragon? Oh. Oh, this is so much different, chat.
Let's finish this quickly, shall we?
Oh.
I shall make it quick.
I get to hear them talk. Fun. I've banquet in Ishtola. this used to be is it was an 8-man, and all people would have to be at this huge dragon's feet attacking this dragon, and the dragon would slowly move forward. And then I think there were like big Bertha cannons. You'd have to, oh, well, I got eaten by that. You'd have to be on a big Bertha and shoot the dragon with it every once in a while. And some people didn't know that. And then you'd have to like focus on your attacks on the armored dragon. Oh, that's a turtle. Can I not fucking do an NPC? Thank you. And then like towards the end, you'd have to climb into a tower. I never did that. River always did it. 2 people would have to climb into towers and do something up there while everyone else is attacking the big ass dragon at its feet while it's moving forward. So this is much different. There weren't all these ads and shit. There might have been some, but not like this. Ah! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Everyone fall back. Fall back now! I literally cannot. Fall back and avoid the... Okay. Running! Running! We're not dying here. Not today. Don't tell me what to do.
Aoife! To me!
Oh, it's gonna be a knockback. Fun. Whee! Who protected me? Dun, dun. Oh, now we attack big boy. Oh god, it's so hard to target him. There we go. Stand your ground, men! Stand your ground! Oh god. Okay. I should probably not be as close as I am so I can easily target him. Where's my cursor? Not there. Ah! What? Where is my cursor? There we go. Jesus. Okay. That might make things easier. Whee! It doesn't. I lied. Controller really likes to auto-target NPCs over enemies, and it's very frustrating. Why are we running this way? Oh, I'm not making it. Oh, I made it! Maybe. I made it! Luckily, Lucia and Thancred saved my ass. Oh! I somehow missed that. Oh, there goes that one. Dun, 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 dun. Ba-da-ba. Fall back, regroup. The battle is not yet lost. Okay, where are we falling back to? Oh, now we falling back. Okay, let's go. Of course it could never be this easy. Ah, ow. Fuck off. Stress. We will see to things here, Kat. Fall back and help the others guard the ward. Okay. I will do that. Best I can.
No holding back.
Oops, there we go. So we get the Scions with us now instead of partying with other players. That's pretty neat. I do like that we get the Scions. That's fun. And it's voice acted somehow. Maybe it's stuff they already had scripted. Oh. 40 transcend. Can I please have the dragon? Jesus Christ. Okay. Ida, you can hold me back. Hey. Was that Ida's voice or was that Y'shtola? Because if that was Ida, that was not ARR Ida voice. It was much deeper.
This one'll sting.
It is! Oh my god, that's not the ARR Ida voice! So they must have used stuff from like, I'm assuming, from like trust systems? They must have used it from the trust systems and just like reused some audio. So it's not the ARR voices. That's kind of hilarious. Ida, your voice got so deep all of a sudden. Oh. I think Ida's no holding back was her new voice actor. Yeah, I think so too. I guess they didn't want to get her old voicer back for this. No, I think they just reused some trust system voices. Oh. Temple Banneret, you almost murdered me. Rip that. Rip? Oh my god, those people died! Oh, he's doing exit flare. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That wasn't too bad. Da, da, da. Oh. He hasn't broken it yet. Oh, never mind. I lied. The second ward has fallen. Oh no. This may be fine. Fall back. There's nothing left to be done here. I mean, you're still attacking, so I'll keep still. Regroup with the rear guard. Okay. I'm going. That's Ida's war voice, okay? Ow. Again with the fucking... Ow. How did that one hit me? That's rude. Just think the last thing that Temple Guy Beard heard in life was Kat yelling at him for being a fuck up. And then he died. Rip that man. Oh my god. Dun, 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 dun. True cause of death, they died of shame. Deserved. Alright.
Know your folly.
Who said that? Oh, there's Estinian. Where did you come from? Was he here the whole time? Ah. Can I please? Thank you. Dun, 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 dun. Ow. Knock back. If he would taste my lance again, so be it. Can I please target the dragon? Thank you. Dun, 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 dun. Hi, Istinian. Istinian's lance, yeah. I know I say Istinian, yeah, it's apparently Estinian, which makes sense. I did watch that video that said that. Oh, shit. Okay. Knock back into a safe place. Wee. Ah! My face. Ow, it keeps going. Okay, ow, I get it. I don't have the dragon. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. Sweet mercy. Yeah, I have no idea if we actually will kill the dragon. That you actually had a time limit when you did it solo or with Q, but now that it's solo duty, I don't know. I'm gonna get out of the way just in case. Oh, motherfucker. Never mind. Knock back into a safe place. Okay. Oh, the knockback makes me disengage from the dragon. Oh my god, can I please think it? Oh, alternate. Dun, 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 dun. These are not all the moves he had when you queued, by the way. These are new. He didn't do this much. Do we have to kill him before that? Everything that the shield keeps the Holy See, even if it should cost us everything, they cannot be suffered a loss. Oh, they're hiding behind. Yo, do I need to hide behind her? I'm gonna hide behind her. I'm afraid I'm gonna die if I don't. Do. I think we're supposed to kill it before their resolve is dead. But I'm gonna hide behind a Lucia just in case, because for those that don't know, this wing attack she has, which is a paladin ability, is very strong. Hello, nay, I beg, grant us strength. I'm trying! Pokes Midgard somewhere on Cat's shoulder. Hey, could you maybe help? You think he's gonna help against his own people? Let's see her going for the big block. Yeah. The big block of wings. It's a fun attack. Or like defense, I guess is more accurate. We did it! Let's go! I think. Oh, I didn't do the little yeah, because it was a solo duty. Oh. We did it. The dragons, they are withdrawing. Victory is ours. Let's go. We did it. Is Estinian the one that's in red armor right now? No, he's in black armor right there. Okay. It's just a different dragoon. Oh, it's like gold. Oh. One of Nidhogg's greatest champions slain. The Horde will not soon recover from this blow. But what of you, Nidhogg? Why did you not join your minions and make of this battle a slaughter? Have you grown so fond of the stench of your lair? Mayhap you prefer to have your allies fight your battles for you. You have a girl to do your bidding now, do you not? No matter. I shall slay Iceheart and all the rest. But I yearn to spill the blood of a great worm, Nidhogg, and only your death will sate my lance. Hey, we did it. All right. Oh, cutscene. Cat, the dragons are routed. Lest you wonder, the fighting at the Steel Vigil was also fierce, but my crystal braves were not found wanting. Commander Lavier and Cat, true to your word, you arrived to aid us in our hour of need. On our behalf of the Holy See and the people of Ishgard, I offer you my humble thanks. Though I would stay and lavish you with well-deserved praise, I fear I must away to oversee the aftermath of the siege. Not all the dragons are fled, and there are yet wounded to be carried from the field. Pray let us meet anon, that I might express my thanks with proper courtesy. We have indeed achieved a victory of singular importance. With the Dravanian horde thus weakened and scattered, the threat to Ishgard has been greatly diminished. And, mayhap equally significant, the Holy See must now recognize the necessity of cooperation with foreign powers. Long have they barred their gates against the outside world, but I am confident that the day will soon come when Ishgard proclaims itself a member of the Eorzean Alliance once more. Much have we sacrificed in our struggles against dragons and primals, the Ascians and the Empire. But step by unfaltering step, we march ever nearer to our goal. And as ever, the journey is made with you in the van. You know what a van is? The victory you have won this day gives us greater hope for the morrow. 'Tis a hope that shall sustain us in the days to come, and bear us past the many evils that seek to hinder our progress. Yes, we have done well, my friend, and I, for one, would take a moment to savor the enormity of your achievement. The demands of duty, however, allow me little time for levity. I must accompany Captain Ilberd back to Ul'dah and reassign those braves whose squad suffered heavy losses. You, my friend, have earned a rest at the Rising Stones. Pray return to Revenant's Toll and share your tale with Minfilia in person. We will see to informing the other nations of what took place here. Do be sure to give our regards to Minfilia. Da 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 da. Kat, welcome back. Alphino sent word of the siege, and of course of the role you played in ending it. Your deeds never cease to amaze me, Kat. Thank you. Oh, I'm gonna pick it. Okay. Broken bridges. Ba, 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 da. I fucked that up. Administrative decision. Minfilia seems loath to put you to further trouble so soon after your last great exertion. Yeah. You must be wary, Kat. And now may very well be our only chance to... Antecedent!
Hello. A messenger from Ul'dah arrived with a missive for you.
The royal seal? Curious indeed. Ah, an invitation. On behalf of the Council of the Eorzean Alliance, Her Royal Majesty Nanamo Ul'Namo invites the Scions of the Seventh Dawn to attend a feast at the Royal Palace of Ul'dah in honor of Ishgard's recent victory. It would seem we are to be recognized for our part in lifting the siege. You for your valiant efforts as commander of the adventurers contingent, and the Archons for their earnest attempts to rouse the city states. Truly, I find it strange that the Alliance leaders should think themselves deserving of a place at such a celebration. All three refused to deploy their standing armies, preferring to send hastily assembled companies of sellswords, many of whom perished ere the siege began. Are they truly so brazen as to seek to share in the glory of your triumph? Ah, but mayhap they simply seek to pretext to meet with the Ishgardians while the mood is yet jubilant. Such an occasion would present a fine opportunity to press for Ishgard's return to the Eorzean Alliance. We have scarce had time to mourn Moenbryda, and I, for one, am in no mood to carouse. But I suppose we must put away our grief for the good of the realm. Though you were promised rest, I fear I must insist that you also attend. It would be a strange celebration indeed if the victorious hero were not present. Pray content yourself with the thought that such occasions may bring about momentous change, and this without recourse to bloodshed. Tataru, if you would do me the favor of contacting the rest of the Scions.
Of course, Antecedent. And please let me know if there's anything else I can do.
Does she want to go as well? Is that what she said? Curious. I have never known Tataru to sigh at such requests. Could aught be amiss?
I think she wants to come with. I think she wants to go too. Did you ever think about a six-pack? Ripped Minfilia. She ain't here.
Excuse? Tataru, where are you? Tataru's conspicuous by her absence. I can read. Excuse me. Flamen!
Tataru, I believe she just stepped outside. Now that I think on it, she did seem rather preoccupied.
Tataru, are you okay?
Oh, Kat, it's you. I didn't mean to worry anyone. It's nothing really. Well, it's not nothing exactly, but it feels like nothing compared to the towering trials you and the others face every day. And that's why I should probably talk to Minfilia before things get any worse. You always know what to say, Kat. I said nothing. I'm glad we had this little chat.
I literally said nothing. Minfilia? Oh, there's Tataru. Oh.
Yes, Tataru. You have my undivided attention.
I've been hesitant to broach the subject, what with all the recent excitement, but Kat made me realize that there's no time like the present. And time is what I'm here to ask you for.
I am not sure I understand. If you wish to be excused from your duties for a time, then you have certainly earned the rest. But I suspect that lying abed is far from your intent.
You know me too well, antecedent. There is, in fact, something I've been wanting to try my hand at. Along with the adventurers and the Crystal Braves, the Scions are constantly being thrown into dangerous battles and deadly predicaments. Even Hoary Boulder and Coltonet have been promoted from guard duty to fill our need of competent warriors. And so it seems only right that I, too, should acquire the power to defend myself, and others, more importantly. When I return, I shall be both your receptionist and your bodyguard.
I believe in her. Whoa, hey! That's the first time I've almost been knocked to the ground by a Lalafell. I've never seen Mr. Taru so determined. Has aught befell with which I might help, antecedent?
Not at present, thank you. Was there something you would ask of me?
Yes, pray excuse my distraction. An adventurer who was to join us for escort duty was injured while out on patrol, and I fear we cannot properly defend the scholars entrusted to our protection without the aid of at least one more guard. Therefore, I humbly request that another adventurer, of the capable kind, of course, be assigned to our party.
Very well, I shall consider the potential candidates and provide you with a replacement as soon as I'm able.
My thanks, antecedent. I take my leave of you. We did it! Let's go see how Tataru is doing, maybe. Possibly. I feel like that's what we're gonna do. Oh god, there's two. An unexpected ambition. Let's do that one first. Minfilia is at a loss for words.
The power to defend oneself. Tataru has ever been full of surprises. Now that I think on it, I do recall Urianger mentioning that she had developed an interest in Arcanema. Mayhap she hopes to gain admittance to the Arcanist Guild in Limsa. Yes, that would be the way of it. Would you be so kind as to journey to the guild and see that all is well? It is doubtless unwarranted, but surely I am not alone in my concern for her safety.
Let's do that first, and then we'll pick this up after we finish Tataru's thing. Tataru! Oh my god, she's adorable.
Kat, what are you doing here? I didn't mean for her to worry. That's the last thing I wanted. Putting an end to such worries is precisely the reason I'm here, don't you see? I, Tataru, shall become a great and powerful Arcanist. And now, at Mistress Thubbergame's behest, I must go and complete a special training exercise. Until we meet again.
Her little Arcanist robes. She's so fucking cute. We came to help.
Greetings and welcome to the Arcanist Guild. Do you require assistance?
I'm gonna zoom in. I forgot to zoom in.
So you are acquainted with our newest member. I am sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but I fear young Tataru may not be ideally suited to the study of Arcanema. Nevertheless, she would not be denied, and goes now to undertake her first trial, a simulated inspection of 3 crates. A simple task, some might say, but one all Arcanists are expected to complete. A thought occurs to me. Why not supervise Tataru's training? You are clearly an accomplished adventurer, and given your relationship with the girl, you seem an ideal person to have on hand. Her trial will be conducted at the cliffs south of the Zephyr Gate. You only need to observe at a distance. Okay, let's go observe. Where is she? Tataru, where are you? I don't see her. I see crates and rats. Level 1 rats, by the way.
Aura Jura sees to Pirate's Port, where she met her shining jewel. For to bring them smugglers' plans to naught, came the lass whom none could fool. Beat 'em with a backdraft, gut 'em with a gust, deck 'em with a downburst, go Carbuncle, go! Oh, are those crates I spy? Ah, and this must be the true test. But we are ready for them, aren't we, Carbuncle? Carbuncle?
How does that even happen? That carbuncle fucked right off. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Ah! Come back, Carbuncle! Oh, I didn't read that fast enough.
That auto did. Okay. She tried. Hi, Dark Skies. Well, a chocobo was slain in a Santa outfit. Or by a scarier buddy. Ma'am?
I should have known you'd come, Cat. You needn't say a word. Your face says it all. I know you bore witness to my shame. Betrayed by my own carbuncle and left at the mercy of wild beasts. I must accept the truth. I'll never be a warrior like you or the others. I will inform Mistress Thubarim Greem,
oh my god,
of my intention to withdraw from the guild. Arcanema, like so much else, is beyond me.
Oh. Oh, give her a hug. Oh my god, why aren't we giving her a hug? Oh, it's Tataru. Oh, my heart.
Ah, back so soon. How fared your fledgling Arcanist? Abysmally, Mistress Thubergrim. Abysmally, as Cat will testify. I was wrong to become an Arcanist. Wrong as usual. I'm completely and utterly unqualified, and I sincerely apologize for wasting your time.
Tataru, if that were true, I would not have permitted you to join in the first place. We must all come to accept our limitations, lest our ambitions lead us astray. However, we must not lose sight of our strengths in the process. For example, your exceptional skill with numbers helped you gain a solid grasp of the fundamentals of Arcanema. Were it not so, you would have struggled even to summon a carbuncle to your side. In my opinion, the Scions are truly fortunate to have such a capable and good-natured receptionist at their service. Would you not agree?
You are too kind, Mistress Thubergrim.
That's the best I'm doing.
Though I could not overcome this challenge, I shall take your words to heart and try not to be discouraged.
We did it. Poor Tataru. Ancient ways, timeless wants. Tataru's considering her next course of action and how you might aid her in it.
As fetching as these garments are, I feel I shall never don them again. But I can't go back to the Rising Stones without something to show for my time away. Wait, I know what I can do. That is, if you don't mind accompanying me for a little while longer. Wonderful. Then to Costa del Sol we will go. It's a bit of a gamble, but I'm confident it will pay off.
God, she's like me. Oh god, I have to do something on my time off. I have to have something to show for it. I can't just actually relax. Tataru! Ah! I'm too far away. Look at her.
She's so cute. Yes, this is it. This is where the man at the Drowning Wench told me to look. There is a certain variety of clam which can be harvested this time of year in Bloodshore, one which produces the most marvelous pearls. However, these clams are also coveted by certain wild creatures, and since I fared rather poorly in battle last time, let us be off.
Oh my god. Look at hers.
What fortune! I've already found one. Would you be so kind as to keep watch while I work? This should only take a moment.
What the? Why did I emit a smoke for a second? I'm a Lala with a gun. I don't like machinists much, that's fair. Oh. That's a big boy. Oh. Why is he so chonky? Da 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 da. Just imagine Isabel Doom Guy meme. Yeah, that's fair. She's so cute. Oh. Is she in a swimsuit? She is. The cutest little swimsuit. Hell yeah. Da, 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 da. More gar. Rar. Why it's out to seek Jataru, I don't know. Rude. Ba-da-ba-ba. 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 Okay. Back to Tataru.
I protect.
I protect so good.
Well fought, Cat. Well fought. I knew I was right to ask you to come. As for me, I have my prize, a bounty of blood pearls. So named for their reddish hue, they were treasured as wards against dark magics in ancient times. I thought I might make charms for everyone, so that no matter where they go, they will always come home. It's sort of the power to defend myself and other people, in a way. Right, well, I mustn't keep Flamen waiting. There's work to be done, and lots of it. We're to secure provisions for the Scions in the Limson markets. She may have an eye for quality, but I have a nose for bargains. Will you be heading back to the Rising Stones? If so, pray convey my apologies to the antecedent, and tell her that she needn't worry about me. Farewell, Cat, and thank you for everything. That sounded like rather final, didn't it? How about until we meet again? Bye.
Aww. Was that just a nice smile, or was that a Tataru evil smile? I can't tell. The precious, most cutest. Alright, Memphilia.
Welcome home, Cat. I gather you found Tataru in Limsa. My, it sounds as though she had quite the adventure. And while it did not end as she had hoped, I suspect that it will prove to be a valuable experience. I dare say she could have managed without your intervention. Even so, I appreciate your indulging my request.
That's okay. I wanted to. Where we are needed. Memphilia is eyeing you with a mixture of regret and desperation.
I wonder, do you perchance recall the commitment I made to furnish Hori Boulder with a capable adventurer? Well, I am sorry to say that I have as yet been unable to do so.
Now, I realize that you are rather more than a capable adventurer, and that escort duty is frankly beneath a man of your talents, but I have no one else to turn to at present. Might you be willing to forego rest and assist us in the matter? Generous to a fault, I thank you, Kat. Now, it seems only fair that I explain the import of the task in question. For some time, our order has employed a handful of scholars to travel around Eorzea taking etheric readings that we might better understand the impact of primal summonings. Naturally, it behooves us to ensure our employees' safety, and so we ask the adventurers in our service to serve as escorts. Hoary Boulder and Coltonet were to act as 2 such escorts, as was a 3rd adventurer. Alas, due to injury, said adventurer is not presently fit for duty, hence my need to impose upon your goodwill. Oh, cracked my neck. But truly, you are truly a pillar of strength, Kat. Hoary Boulder will share with you the details of your task. He should be waiting for you outside. Be safe. I will be. Hi, Hoary. Oh.
Kat, is it true you agreed to help lend us a hand? Huzzah! What did I tell you, Coltonet? Our misfortune is becoming a blessing, as opportunity to serve alongside the Warrior of Light himself.
Need I remind you that we have 3 scholars to escort, each of whom will take a different route?
True, but our mission is the same. Separated by moms we may be, but in spirit we shall be together.
If such thoughts bring you joy, you are welcome to think them. To more practical concerns, Kat, we would have you attend to the scholar charged with surveying the South Shroud.
He is waiting at Camp Tranquil as we speak. All you need to do is follow the man. He will determine the most appropriate locations to take his readings. In spirit, Kat. In spirit we shall be together every step of the way.
Okay, if you say so. At least he's excited. Alright, unsettled scholar. At last, the Scion's man deigns to grace me with his presence. A pity that we have no time for pleasantries. Our first destination is Isam. Come, we are late enough as it is.
Late for what?
Yes, this location should suffice. Once I finish calibrating my instruments, I will require but a moment to take the necessary measurements. I trust I need not explain that my work can suffer no interruptions. Then please stand at the inappropriate distance and keep watch for wild beasts. I'm standing at an appropriate distance, watching for wild beasts. Where? There's a bunch, damn. Luckily they aggro me, let's go. They're also too far apart to do an AoE. Annoying! Alright. Okay. I see we have both completed our respective tasks. A satisfactory outcome. Though, if I could make one suggestion, you might try to dispatch your foes more quietly in the future. I do not like to pick fault, but I really must be allowed to concentrate. Now then, Snake Molt awaits, shall we? Wow, way to be picky of your safety. Right about here, yes. As before, I would ask that you keep an eye out for dangerous beasts as I work.
I can do that, I suppose. A death mouse! Deep void death mouse. That sounds so much more badass than it looks. Oh. Oh, he died super quick, actually. And now just a bat.
Okay. Fascinating. These readings are not at all what I expected. Though perhaps that should come as no surprise. I am not given to superstition. But there is a queer, almost blasphemous air hereabouts. Let us quit this place and return to Roots Lake. We have only one more site to survey.
They really like to use the word queer in this game, I've noticed.
As before, my guardian. Pray leave me to my task and ensure our safety.
Fine. If you aren't shouting your spells and your attack phrases, are you even fighting? Anime says no. Anime says that's an absolute no. There's only 2. Alright. Oh, never mind. Just kidding. Just kidding. That makes so much more sense. Da, 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 da. Kill them both. There we go. Oh, they make the cutest noises. Da, 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 da. All right.
This data should prove invaluable too. Ye gods, what is that stench? Did you slaughter a creep of adamantoise while my back was turned? Quickly now to Camp Tranquil. I will not have my clothing reek of blood and offal.
Wow. So picky.
You chose to paddle in the Ichor a while longer, I take it. No matter. I took advantage of my unexpected privacy and performed a cursory analysis of my data. It would appear that there has been a measurable decrease in Eorzea's ambient aether concentration since the calamity. However, this data is far from conclusive. We must take additional measurements to confirm my assessment.
Okay.
Who better to serve...
Oh, I was saying it in his voice. Who better to serve the scions of the Seventh Dawn than a humble scholar and his faithful assistant?
For our next survey, I would have you escort me to Earth's fount. The ambient aether concentrations there are so high that crystalline structures form spontaneously. Consequently, anomalous fluctuations should be much easier to detect. Brilliant, yes? No, don't bother answering. That was rhetorical. Now come along.
Well, rude. Fine.
You should be a bit more familiar, or more than familiar with the procedure by now. Pray find a suitable position from which to keep watch while I take measurements.
Where? There. Okay. This is not a fighting destination, though. It's just sparkly. Oh, it's a cutscene.
Yes, quite high, yet still markedly lower than the historical measurements taken near the end of the Sixth Astral Era. Could the presence of the primal account for the difference, or is there something else? Something else.
Okay, bye. Oh.
Something else. Scion, come here, I need you!
Oh, fuck. Wait, who is that? Oh, I thought it was real. Oh, no, that's... What's his name? Fear not, my friends. Help has arrived. That's the dude from Alamigo. No, he got murdered. There you are, Kat. Hori and I were worried when you and your charge failed to return at the appointed hour. Oh, Tali's looking for food. Please hold. Gutted like a hog. But not by one, no. These wounds were made with a blade. Doesn't look like he put up much of a fight either. Nary a mark on his sword or his shield. I've heard nothing of the Crystal Braves, any Crystal Brave operations out in this area. What cause had Wilred to come here?
What should we do?
We will see to the scholar's protection, Kat. Aye, and the boy's remains. You should return to the Rising Stones. The antecedent will want to know what happened here. And so do I. Oh, Wilred. Poor buddy. Minfilia! Kat, you are returned, and you seem troubled. Did the role of escort chafe so?
Wilred dead? Mayhap murdered? By the 12, how can that be? I will send word to Alphino at once. He will want to conduct a full investigation and send word to Wilred's family. Gods, he was just a boy. Who would do this and why? Some bitches. A time to every purpose. While others look forward to the impending royal banquet, Minfilia cannot help but look to the past. Oh. Though recent events weigh heavily on our minds, we must needs set them aside for now. We are come to a defining moment in Eorzean history. The grand commemoration of our joint defense of Ishgard, the first time in 15 long years that our people have stood side by side with our neighbors to the north to fight a common cause. This may mark the true rebirth of the Eorzean Alliance. Failing that, it should at the very least, serve to bring our nations closer together. We have every reason to raise our voices in celebration, do we not? We have bested Dravanians and Ascians both. Against desperate odds, we have fought and won. But the primals still plague us, and the Empire still plots our subjugation. And our triumphs, remarkable though they are, were not brought at a terrible price. Brave adventurers and allies, broken on the steps of faith, and before our eyes, in this very room, our dear friend Moenbryda. This is the victory we have wrought, and it is as bitter ashes in my mouth. I would sooner stay here and invite those with more appetite to enjoy the feast in my stead. Alas, it is a royal banquet, and all of our allies will be in attendance. It is our duty to present a united front, that we might serve as a beacon of hope to all. It seems I have no choice but to take my own advice. I instructed the others to meet us in Ul'dah, that we might make our grand entrance together. Unfortunately, I had to settle for leaving Tataru and Lamin a note. If they do not return quickly, they will have to settle for whatever leftovers I can smuggle out of the fragrant chamber. Real. Off to the big soiree, Kat. Raise a glass for me, eh? Or not. You don't look best pleased, lad. Something on your mind? We should tell him. By the Navigator, Wilred's dead? Gods damn it, they must know they've been rumbled. Sod it. 'Tis past time we had this talk. After our last conversation, I got to thinking about where certain funds were coming from. So I had to dig around, on the quiet like, and sure enough I found it. Seems a fair bit of coins made its way into the Braves' coffers courtesy of Dodo Consortium. A daft name for a business if I ever heard one, which is what first gave me the inkling that something weren't right. So I went through the ledgers again, and found another half-dozen donations from organizations with stupid bloody names. Didn't take long to find the common thread. All were owned by the Mirage Trust. Oh, and I'll give the bastard credit. He showed us up for the amateurs we are. Short of calling one of his businesses the bloody bribery consortium. I don't know what more he could have done to mock our rules on financial contributions. The gods only know how many of men of the first and third are taken to Legi's coin. But now we know, as some of them are, I'd wager me right eye they're the ones that did this for Wilfred.
The way he talks is hard for me. The earnest young fool had taken to asking the wrong kind of questions. Bound to attract attention he was. Should have seen it at the time. But I didn't. Gods damn me. Still, I don't see what Teleji hopes to accomplish. He hid his scheme with all the care of a drunk pissin' in the wind. No, he's cleverer than this. So we need to be clever too. That's the only way we'll ever repay this debt of blood. We'll purge every one of them traitorous bastards from our ranks. On that, you have my word. And Kat, mind yourself when you're in Ul'dah, eh? We're heading into a storm, I can smell it. The kind that'll sweep a man overboard and drag him under before he knows it. Alright. Shit's up to no good! Alright.
We have been waiting for you, Kat. The celebration is due to begin shortly. I had hoped that we might make our introductions together, but Mistress Momodi just sent word that you are needed at the quicksand.
Oh. We're not doing... Oh my god. Why are we not doing the party? The party's waiting for me? A hero must go where he is needed, and according to Minfilia, you are needed elsewhere. Come but not gone. What the fuck?
We will go on ahead, Kat. Pray join us once matters at the quicksand are resolved.
Give my regards to Momodi, and let her know that I will call upon her anon. Okay. I'm not gonna get to walk with the squad, I guess. No. Just not with you. Yeah, the squad's walking in, but not with me. Momodi, what's up?
I appreciate you dropping in on short notice, Kat. I know you got places to be, so I won't waste your time. You're friends with the Crystal Brave by the name of Aliane, aren't you? Former adventurer. Come to think of it, I'm pretty sure you recruited her yourself. Well, anyway, she came round for a meal not long ago, and before she left, she asked me to give you a message. Said if the others ended up dragging you to the feast, I was to see you got it before you made your grand entrance. Meet me at the station west of the Coffer and Coffin. There's something I must show you. A short message, I'll grant you, but she thought long and hard before picking those words. Barely touched her food, too. Under other circumstances, I'd have thought those signs of troubled heart, but something tells me she ain't planning to confess her undying love.
I don't trust her now. Alright. Someone else is doing it. Let's go. I love that jacket. Someday I want that jacket. Like, also IRL, because that'd be fucking cute, but I want it also on my cat girl. As you stand upon the platform, your thoughts begin to wander, and all too soon the ghosts of comrades lost and enemies slain begin to file by your mind's eye and soul in procession. Clearing your head, you scan the horizon, but see no sign of Aliane. Was I purposely drawn away from the party for a reason? Why isn't she here? Straining your ears to listen, you hear the chatter of Kikrin and the buzzing of Searfids, but no approaching footfall. Sighing, you bow your head, only to notice the vial laying at your feet. Faint light. What? I don't remember Laurentis' voice. Kat, is that you? What brings you out this way? Lieutenant Aliane? Why, no, I haven't seen her about. Or maybe she was murdered! Had she come this way, I guarantee we would have crossed paths. I must have passed this spot a dozen times. We're to patrol the city's environs on account of the royal banquet. Captain's orders, you understand. Speaking of which, isn't it about to begin? You should be with the other honored guests, enjoying your well-deserved respite. Aye, pray return to Ul'dah, Kat. If I chance to meet the lieutenant, I will tell her you were here. Okay, thanks. Is she okay? Maybe she died. I don't know. Either she was murdered or we were lured away, and I'm not sure which. Why you being sus? Or is he reporting in? I don't trust any of you fuckers. Oh shit.
O Sultan Tree, hallowed spirit of my line. Through my weakness, the glorious house of Ul has all but disappeared beneath the sands. For want of the strength to raise it up again, it were better that it fall. Forgive me, but I know not what else to do.
Oh my god, I got to eat a single cracker. I reckon you'd head straight to the feast after meeting with Aliane. What's the matter? No appetite? Here's a vial. So she wasn't there, but this was? Let's see. Looks to me like an alchemist's vial, but beyond that, I can't say. Might be best if you hold on to it for safekeeping, though. Oh. Any road. No use worrying about Aliane. I'm sure she'll turn up before too long, and when she does, we'll soon find out what this was all in aid of. Besides, you've got more important things to think about. Yes, I do. The parting glass. Judging by Momodi's grin, your star could not rise any higher. Would you believe that, while you were away, another message arrived for you? Well, one did. One delivered by the Sultana's handmaiden, no less. Seems Her Grace desires a private audience. Her handmaiden will meet you on the royal promenade and escort you to the Sultana's chambers. So what are you waiting for? Go on, then. Go. All right. Party. Although, night with the Sultana. Oh, shit.
You needn't trouble yourself so. Your Grace is most kind. But it is no trouble to me, rather an honor. If your Grace is ready, I shall summon the Warrior of Light. I am.
Everyone looks to be in high spirits.
With good cause.
A common victory may serve to unite even the most unlikely of allies. You've brought us one step closer to a united Eorzea.
Your modesty knows no bounds, Antecedent. Were it not for your efforts, Sir Emmerich would never have become such a steadfast ally. When he convinces his countrymen to rejoin the Alliance, we shall all reap the benefits, military and economic. I tell you, we are on the cusp of a new era of unity and prosperity. Territorial disputes are all that divide us now, but I have faith that we will find an amicable solution in time. And failing that, I'll have my trusty Warrior of Light box the ears of all concerned. Speaking of whom...
He will be joining us shortly. A matter at the quicksand required his attention, but it did not sound serious.
Oh shit. Okay. I thought those were going to be longer cutscenes. But I guess it didn't warn me, so it's fine. Lady in Waiting. Thank
Thank you for coming, sir. Her Grace is most eager to speak with you. If you require a moment to compose yourself before your audience, you may have it. Or, if you are ready, it would be my honor to escort you to Her Grace's chambers forthwith.
Here it is, the first time we see this, chat. Upon proceeding to the Sultana's bedchamber, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. You guys ready? You guys ready? Let's do it. Ah! Ah!
Enter. Your Grace, your guest has arrived. Pray, come in and take your ease.
Tis well that the steps of faith held against the Horde.
And what of the city proper?
We sustained some few losses, but the heart of our nation yet beats with vigor. I am not certain I could say the same had we not received your most generous aid.
I'm sorry, generous aid? What fucking generous aid?
An attack on Ishgard is an attack on the realm. We stand together or fall divided.
Such noble words after the fact.
I had hoped to speak in the presence of Her Grace, but it seems she has been delayed. That being the case, now would seem as good a time as any. Honored friends, pray allow me to convey Ishgard's warmest gratitude for your part in the defense of our lands. Tis upon the success of this very alliance that my recommendation to throw open the gates of judgment shall be founded. With the blessing of the Archbishop, it is my hope that Ishgard will soon be reunited with her long-estranged sister nations, and that Eorzea shall once more be as one.
Very well.
Is aught amiss?
Nothing to worry about. I shall return anon. You wished a word, Yu Hase?
You may go. Your Grace. You must be curious as to the reason for this private audience. The matter I would discuss, however, will soon make apparent the need for discretion. I intend to abdicate the throne and dissolve the monarchy. You have seen for yourself the storm of turmoil that howls through our streets. The government fails in its responsibilities, and my subjects suffer the consequences of our incompetence. But I will see them suffer no longer. The victory feast shall provide the stage on which I declare the dissolution of the Sultanate. 'Tis mine intent that the ruling class of our golden city should take its place beside the common man in a fair and equitable republic. No more shall this nation bow to the whims of a privileged few. Yet, that which I propose will entail the tearing up of this city's very foundations. And even Roban, with all his strength and influence, will be hard-pressed to keep his footing on such treacherous ground. Thus would I ask you to lend him a steadying hand. You who have endured the wrath of innumerable foes are the one hero in whom I can place my trust. Will you do this thing for me? I am truly grateful. More grateful than I can well express. Much of my dread for the coming days has been quieted.
His non-emo senses are tingling. Help her!
Your Grace! Her Grace, the Sultana, is dead. Poison in her wine? You did this!
Spare us your denials! I see no other suspects, and the room has but the one entrance. I hereby accuse you of regicide. Men, arrest this viper.
Sir, barring a few exceptions, we have detained all those with allegiance to the Scions. The Rising Stones is also under our control.
Why is everyone evil?
And what do you hope to achieve with this mutiny?
Why, that which we have striven for all along, Commander. The salvation of Eorzea.
What is the meaning of this?
Knights from the homeland. This cannot bode well.
Lord Commander, we have received an urgent message from the Holy See. I am grieved to report that your serpentine foes have resumed their assault. Needless to say, your presence is urgently required. These knights have come to bear you swiftly home to Ishgard.
A surprise attack?
We've had no such word from our men, and the timing is most fortuitous to catch us away from the city.
Most fortuitous indeed.
Lord Commander, we must away.
I like that even him and Lucy are like,
you
this
have
is
been
sus.
a most gracious host. I hope that I might one day return the favor. Come, Lucia.
Also, is he not going to bring up the Sultana? Sir? I think that's more pertinent right now. Is he wooing a woman in a time like this? Fucking Thancred.
Whatever is going on in there? Ah, the ever-dutiful brass blades. I must apologize, but my dance card is rather full. Another time, perhaps?
Thancred, of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. You stand accused of committing acts of espionage in service to the Garlean Empire.
Espionage? What in the seven hells are you talking about? Ah, if you're referring to that business with the Ultima weapon, then you must understand, I wasn't myself.
Aw, you were law, it's fine.
Under interrogation, an Imperial prisoner revealed your involvement in numerous dealings with the enemy. We've also been investigating reports that you are a practitioner of forbidden arts. You'd best come along with us.
You invite me to your party and now you want me to leave? I do so detest receiving mixed signals. Come then. I believe I've lost my appetite for this farce of a celebration.
Yeah, kick their ass. Oh, don't tell me I'm kicking their ass. Okay, good. Thank God. ACAB, by the way. Yeah, ACAB.
You go too far, Lord Adeleji. By what right do you march armed soldiers into a royal banquet and eject state visitors without her grace's consent? You treat the brass blades as your personal army and show contempt for the throne with your every act. Leave us, now.
Is that an order, General? Mayhap you have mistaken me for one of your flames. You will find I am not so slavishly obedient. As you lecture me on personal armies. As for your outrageous claim that I have shown contempt for the throne, let all here observe that it was not I who feasted while an assassin removed its occupant. I expect this is your idea of defending the nation, is it? This and diluting our forces through these distractions in Cartano and Kurthis. I do begin to see how the ranks of the Immortal Flames came to be riddled with Garlean sympathizers. You are plainly unfit for command.
Wait, goddamn you. Your words make no sense. What assassin?
You mean to say you don't know? We caught the vaunted champion of the Scions in her Grace's private chambers, not moments after the deed was done.
No! No, this cannot be!
Save your breath. You will need it to plead your case. You and your entire order are to be tried for this atrocity. Bring in the prisoner!
I must say, Teleji's voice actor is very good at making me want to punch him in the face.
This man stands accused of poisoning Her Royal Majesty Nanamo Ul Namo, and as suspected accessories to the crime, all members of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn will be detained for questioning.
This is madness!
This is Sparta.
What a pity. Who'd have thought your tale would end like this?
Should you demand further proof, a vial with traces of the substance used to poison Her Grace was found upon the assassin's person.
That was the fucking vial. Alien! I'm gonna fight a
bitch. How very convenient.
You would speak of convenience? Who persuaded Her Grace to host this celebration? A diversion which presented you and your confederates ample opportunity to commit the crime, and a crowd within which to fade from view. A more convenient occasion I could scarcely imagine.
How dare you! After all we have done for Uldar!
Hold your tongue, witch! I'll not be ensorcelled! I know all about the dark gift that you and your disciples wield. Oh yes, I've observed how you worked upon the minds of the Alliance leaders, bending them to your will. And what of your cordial relationship with Sir Emmerich? For years, Ishgard abjured all contact with the outside world, and now the Lord Commander of the Temple Knights treats you with the familiarity of a childhood friend. I'll tell you what I think. I think this desperate defense of Ishgard was but a ruse to deceive us into dividing our forces. Your next move will be to charm your Kurthan allies into invading our lands. Now that is truly ridiculous.
How do you even think of this stuff?
She cannot be dead.
Somebody give Ramon a hug.
Stand aside, Ilbert. I want to see the Sultana.
Spare yourself the pain, brother. I saw her with my own eyes. For a mercy, the poison took her swiftly. Her handmaiden can attest to that.
This cannot be. Nanamo. Nanamo. No!
Plainly, the Royalists can no longer be relied upon to keep our nation safe. And so it falls to the monitorists of the Syndicate to govern Uldar. But should you wish to help us, General, we would be more than happy to entrust the task of planning Her Grace's funeral to you. It seems only right that you should bury your precious Sultana, and we will be glad to be rid of that burden.
I'll bet you will. You more than any man.
Whatever do you mean?
I mean you had her killed, you black-hearted bastard!
What rot! Though I did have sufficient motive, 'tis true. That young lady caused me no end of grief. She always was a most unwilling puppet. I dare say Her Grace was grateful that someone thought to cut her strings.
would mock her, then mock her from hell!
What?
Get fucked.
Have you lost your mind, General? It is forbidden to draw steel in the royal chambers, much less slaughter our fellow syndicate members. You're one of them. You've been in league with the Scions all along.
You're next, you scheming bastard!
Oh, Reborn!
Seven hells!
Admiral, we must leave.
Ah!
How unlike you, old friend. I did not expect to take your arm so easily.
Take the Scions into custody. They have conspired to commit regicide. And arrest this traitor as well.
Ilbert, I hope you choke on their coin.
'Tis better than the dirt I've supped on these long years. We can't all abandon Alamigo and become great war heroes as you have. You are not the man you once were, Raban. Since that girl strapped the yoke around your neck, you've become docile. She took the mad bull and cut off his balls, and a bull that cannot rot is fit for naught but slaughter. Shall I tell you who really killed your precious Sultana? It was me.
You die! I never doubted you, not for a moment. But there is more to this than I yet understand. Flee this place. Clear your names. Find out who is behind this plot. It is the only way. Now go! Ah!
there you are.
Thancred, where have you been?
Avoiding the fumbling advances of some very persistent admirers. When I realized the celebrations had turned sour, it seemed prudent to slip away and take stock of the situation. 'Twould appear that much of the city is already under tight guard. It occurs to me that expanding the Brass Blade's authority may not have been such a wonderful idea after all.
The success of this plan was contingent upon those thugs having the run of the place. Just how long has this scheme been in motion?
The careful preparations, the maneuvering of forces. I am inclined to agree with the General's insistence that a deeper plot exists here.
So, would I be right in thinking we now have an excuse to pummel as many brass blades as we like?
Unless you plan on pummeling them all, I'm not sure that will greatly aid our cause.
The Sultana's assassination was but one part of the scheme. We too were its targets. And though we did not share Pornonimo's fate, we are yet hobbled by the charges laid at our door. Where now might we seek refuge?
Where indeed, we may safely assume that our foe is thought to have the Rising Stones watched.
Forgive me for stating the obvious, but our choice of destination will matter little if we cannot secure an escape route out of Ul'dah. Happily, I believe I can provide one. Papashan once told me about the passages hidden in the walls of the palace. If I recall correctly, the fireplace in Animo's chambers conceals the entrance to a tunnel. It should lead outside the city and allow us to avoid any messy confrontations.
The rest of you go on ahead. I'll handle this lot.
By yourself? I suppose I shall just have to join you.
Crystal Braves too, huh? Now this should be interesting.
Ida! Papalimo!
We will hold our pursuers here. Hurry, now! Find this tunnel of Thancred's.
Minfilia, we cannot linger.
Now look what you've done.
Ida, are you all right? There are just too many of them.
I'm fine. I could do this all day. How about you?
Nearing the end of my tether.
This is so stupid. We're the scions of the Seventh Dawn. The ones who stand between this realm and the evil that's trying to destroy it.
And if you think we'll leave the stewardship of Eorzea to the likes of your masters, then you're sorely mistaken.
Sorry I dragged you into this, Popolimo.
'Tis hardly the first time, and I'll be damned if it will be the last. Let them have it, Ida!
I was hoping you'd say that.
I never knew such a watercourse existed beneath Uldar.
The architecture is of the Sildine style, if I'm not mistaken. The ancients plainly foresaw the need for a ready means of escape.
This way!
Well, that didn't take long. It seems these tunnels were not as secret as I'd hoped.
You two, go on ahead. Thancred and I will deal with this.
What do you mean to do?
Only that which is required to ensure that the dawn's light survive to brighten the morrow.
Fear not, antecedent. You haven't seen the last of these fair features.
My friends.
Leave us!
What is the plan, milady? Shall I take the dozen on the left and you the dozen on the right? The odds are not exactly stacked in our favor.
Numbers will count for little when I bring the tunnel down upon their heads. Though I cannot say I relish the thought of being entombed with you for all eternity.
You wound me. I will have you know that many a maid would kill for the chance to spend forever at my side. Now, may I have the last dance? Well, this is going splendidly. Now would be a good time, milady!
'Tis done! Forgive me, Mitra.
Farewell, Ophelia.
to me.
You just dropped the lantern in the
No.
water. Moenbryda.
I must remain behind, but you cannot stay with me. Please, you must go on. You are the warrior of light. You are hope for the Scions and for all the realm. As long as your flame continues to burn, the light of the dawn may ever be relit. You must escape and save Eorzea from those who would plunge it into darkness. Tis the only way.
Alphino, how the fuck did you make it out?
I am glad to see you safe, my friend. What of the others? Damn that man! Teleji played me for a fool! I thought the Crystal Brave's mine till the very moment I felt the blade at my back.
There will be ample time for soul-searching later. For now, we must put some arms between us and Ul'dah.
Question marks.
Well, would you look who it is? Need a ride? I doubt it'll be half as exciting as the last trip we took. Not if I have anything to say about it anyway. Let's not dawdle, eh? All aboard! I was stocking up on supplies over in Vesper Bay, you see, when your sister come up and begged a favour. Said her brother was having some trouble down in Ul'dah, and likely needed a helping hand getting away.
Ali
Thinking
said.
them ruins would make a fine hiding place, I decided to try there first. And lo and behold, there you were. Aye, and judging by them soldiers as were pouring out of the city, I arrived not a moment too soon. Ha! Must have been fate that we happened to find you there, though, eh?
I had thought to look out for Alize, but would appear she was the one watching over me. I've made such a mess of things.
And who might you be, young sir?
Pippin Taropin, Vice Marshal of the Immortal Flames. I had been on the Alamegan front these past few moons, but an urgent communication called me back to Uldar. Scarce had my boots touched the cobbles, though, when the streets erupted with cries of assassination. I immediately went in search of answers, and came across Master Alphino here. Needless to say, I did not think his imprisonment justified. The blame plainly lies with the Monitarists. Their greed and corruption are well known to me, but for them to take advantage of the situation with such alacrity...
Was that Pippin, you said?
Yeah.
Ain't that the name of General Alden's lad?
Yes, I am his son. Adopted, of course. 'Twas only as we were leaving Uldar that I learned of father's fate. Once I have seen you a safe distance away, I mean to return to the city and extricate him from this madness.
Then you needn't travel no further than Blackbrush. Our fugitives have a friend waiting for them there.
We do?
I dreamed of bringing about Eorzea's salvation, but in the end,
It didn't even matter.
'twas I who needed saving.
Oh. Oh, okay, this isn't voiced though. Them soldiers will be searching for a while yet. Reckon we'll take the carriage towards Ul'dah and get a lay of the land. Maybe provide a distraction if need be. You three wait here. Help will be along shortly. Stay strong, friends. The real fight's to come. All right, let's go. Holy crap. Holy crap. These are sad Alphino hours. Alphino's not doing okay. Alright, I don't have a voice for Pippin, but here we go. Oh shit. The most unassuming folk can prove to be our greatest allies. That fellow was but a passing merchant, yet he lent us aid without a moment's hesitation, or any hint of concern for his own safety. Though I can well imagine how a man could feel inspired to risk all in your presence. Father spoke often of you, Kat, and long have I looked forward to our first meeting. Needless to say, this is not at all how I envisioned it. Master Alphino, you must not give in to despair. That would only play into our enemy's hands. So long as you and Kat are free, we may still set things right. Forgive me, Marshal Taropin. I don't know who this is. Alphino, my boy, sorry to keep you waiting. Who is this? Oh! Daddy Sid! Sid? What are you doing here? Pulling you out of the fire, as usual. Your merchant friend told me everything. Truly? Then he is no merchant, but an angel in peddler's clothing. But tell us, how do you intend to bear our friends to safety? I hid the Enterprise but a short distance away. All I need is a destination. We must find a place beyond the reach of both the Monitarists and the Crystal Braves. Korthus, Ishgard will not suffer the intrusion of foreign forces in their territory. That settles it. With me, everyone. Not I fear. I must remain here. I dare not abandon Ul'dah to the Monitarists and their croonies. You may be certain that they will seek to defame you, but both here and in the other city-states. But know that I shall do my utmost to thwart their every effort. Frankly, I do not expect it to be much of a challenge. The small folk will not turn so easily to the Warrior of Light and his allies. Will turn so easily on the Warrior of Light and his allies. That's a very different sentence. No matter what the Monitarists claim. Marshal Taropin, I don't know what to say. Ha! Now that father would labor to believe. But enough talk. You must go, Master Alphino. Your airship awaits. Let's follow that daddy said. Up, up. There's no rest for the righteous. We should make for Camp Dragonhead and speak with Lord Horshaphant. Mayhap he will know what to do. Oh, he looks so sad. Poor Alphino. Horshaphant! I want a hug. Master Alphino told me your tale, Cat. It warms my heart that you should turn to me before all others, and I shall endeavor to deserve your trust. Alas, the situation here has grown ever more complicated in your absence. 'Twould be best if I explained in full. Okay, please explain in full, so we can finish this. Before the dawn. In times of trouble, there are few things more precious than unconditional support. Oh.
There has been word from the capital. Ishgard has weathered another assault, and 'tis said several wyverns broke through into the city proper. The Temple Knights succeeded in slaying the beasts, but the intrusion prompted orders to further strengthen the guard, and to place the city under a perpetual state of alert. How keenly we feel the loss of our wards at the gates of judgment. Yet we must not bemoan our misfortune. Sir Emmerich is safely returned from Ul'dah, and once more leads the defense of Ishgard. As for the matter of your asylum, I am afraid no progress will be made until the threat to our nation is diminished. But do not despair. You are not without allies. You are more than welcome to shelter here for as long as you wish. Pray, think of it as a new headquarters of sorts. The Falling Snows, or some such.
The Falling Snows.
All frivolity aside, any who come here in search of you will receive no aid from House Forton. For once, the Ishgardian reputation for inhospitality shall work in our favor. Agents of Ul'dah will find their every inquiry dismissed, and their every request for entry rebuffed, until such time as their masters have acknowledged your innocence. You once fought to preserve the honor of my dear friend. 'Tis a blessing that I may now repay that debt in kind. But let us dwell no more on this. Pray, join the rest of your companions. 'Tis bitterly cold this day. I suspect there are those who might welcome the warmth your presence brings.
Like you. Like Horshaphant? Maybe like Horshaphant? Maybe. Let's finish up 2.55. Greetings, sir. Shall I show you inside? Upon proceeding the intercessory, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It is recommended to set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. Do it again, Bop Bop! Da, 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 da. All right, chat. More scenes. Let's go. Oh, Tataru. Oh, it's not voiced. Okay, rude.
Elfino, Cat, is it really you? Oh, I'm so happy that you are. I tried contacting Manphilia and the others, but no one would respond. Then the Crystal Braves, our own people, turned on us in the marketplace. Flamen told me to run, and so I did. I ran and I ran until my lungs burned and my feet ached. But I lost my way and then... Oh.
Is this who I think it is?
Fortunately, I had observed some of the Braves behaving suspiciously beforehand.
It is Yugiri.
Face reveal? Ah, yes, my mask. It was lost in the struggle. Pretty, isn't she? Anyway, after Yugiri found me, we traveled to Vesper Bay and met up with Urian J. When we told him what had happened, he used his magics to weave a glamour around the Waking Sands. From the outside, our old headquarters now looks like an abandoned storehouse. The transformation didn't take long either. Apparently, Urian J stated making preparations after the Imperial attack, just in case the Empire ever chose to pay us another visit. Good thinking, eh? Sorry, where was I? Oh, yes. So we waited there at the Waking Sands, hoping others would come, but no one else did. My people are searching for the other Scions even as we speak, but we have met with no success yet. I had hoped that you might be able to suggest further places to look. But you should know, the Rising Stones did not share the Waking Sands' good fortune. Only Crystal Braves wait for you there. Be that as it may, we yet have cause to hope, do we not? If the two of you escaped, it is not impossible that the others could have done so as well. You may have been forsaken by men and women believed true, but rest assured that the people of Doma yet stand with you. We welcome this opportunity to repay our debts, and shall continue our efforts to locate the others, and see the Scions restored to their rightful place of honor.
"'Tis all my doing."
Oh.
I believed myself the only one who truly understood Eorzea's woes. And look what that arrogance has wrought. I gave commands, influenced governments with my certainty. I treated the Crystal Braves and even the Scions themselves as pawns in my great scheme to save the realm. But in my headlong rush into imagined glory, I paid no heed to the ground upon which I trod. The salvation of Eorzea. What was it that I hoped to achieve? Did I believe that I could rid the realm of every danger and difficulty? That I could defeat the Empire and the Ascians, and find homes for every refugee? Oh, yes. I was so very clever. Become a guardian of Eorzea, I implored, and sat back to watch my perfect army cleanse the land of chaos. It was all but a means to feed my own vanity. Only when all is lost do I finally realize the truth.
Oh, Alfino.
So, Master Alfino, are you content to remain a broken blade? Is there no flame hot enough to reforge you?
Harsha calling him out.
What of the fine companions who yet stand at your side? I dare say the fires of their determination will soon have you slicing the air again with your customary wit.
I hardly deserve such friendship. And besides, where are we to go?
Alphino, if I may? Should this place not serve our purpose, then we shall go to Ishgard. Minfilia told me many times, as long as we stand fast against despair, the beacon of hope will never be lost to sight. Be it in the snow or in the clouds, we few will see that the dawn's light shines again.
Fuck, I can't.
You are right, Tataru. Thank you. And thank you for your kind words, Lord Orchefon. 'Tis true that Eorzea yet has her guardians. The Scions have achieved much, and 'twould be remiss of me to discard it all in a fit of self-pity. Let us then resume our journey, together, one step at a time.
Oh! We hit the credits, chat! Da, 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 da. Isn't this the music that plays at Bahamut? And with that, A Realm Reborn comes to an end. And we are going to be in Heavensward. Chat, we did it! We did it! Hell yeah. Can I make it faster? Scroll speed. Ugh, it's only that. Okay. No. Maybe that just goes away over time. Yeah, it does. Okay. That was unexpected. Well, it's not the ending. This is, again, ARR ends again. This, I know it doesn't seem like an ending. It's like, well, what the fuck? It is an ending to, like, the story that bridges ARR and Heavensward, but it is not... It is supposed to lead you into Heavensward, so it's not an end, if that makes sense. It's saying, hey, we're gonna be in Ishgard, and this is the fuck why. Ishgard is where you take, like, or the lands around Ishgard and stuff are all where you spend a heavy amount of your time of Heavensward. So, I would say more the ending of ARR was the big one with Nanamo and stuff, and the Scions. That was more of an ending, and this was just, hey, this is us going into Heavensward. So, it's obviously not done. Just the main game is done, and we are getting into an expansion, which... It's a cliffhanger, yes. Yes. Basically. This is just the beginning. Yeah, ARR is just the beginning. We have 4 expansions, chat. And honestly, I would estimate expansions take just as long. Maybe a little shorter. But they take a long time. Perhaps the ending has not been written. Keep in mind, you would have seen this from the final patch to ARR, and then months later, you'd start Heavensward. Yes, this is what people would have gotten, and then had to wait months for Heavensward to come out. So they were like, what? We're just here? And that's what it's going to be like whenever we get to the end of the patches as well for the next expansion. I was confused for a second. That's fair. Yeah. Like the end of a season or for a show, a wrap up that leads to the next season. Right. If they expect a next season, yes. Ow, I forgot I cut myself this morning. Ow. I rubbed it on accident. Totally worth it. So much better from here on. Yes. I mean, like, this story was good, especially towards the end. But the stories just get better and better, honestly. Nothing like ending with an emotional gut punch. Yeah, for sure. Season 1 finale. Yeah. Yeah, and all the Aetherites within 100 yalms of old are disabled, and if you try to ride into those areas, you get hunted. That would have been so funny and fun, but too hard to implement. I think we can still go into other areas with no problem. Yes, we're banned from city-states. Is that realistic? No. Moon, I know. But, this song's so good. You need to take a week break so I can catch up. That won't be soon. It will be soon. It won't be next week. Sorry. Reverse that. It will be soon. It won't be next week. Next week I will, like, tomorrow we continue with Heavensward. Tomorrow we start Heavensward, and next week we will continue it. But the week after that, I won't be streaming story probably. For the 2 weeks after that, I'll be in Scotland. So it gives some people a chance to catch up too. After next week, yes. So we will be doing some story the next few 14 streams, but I won't be like pushing through it like I am here. I'll be picking up plus quests on the side. You know, we'll still do beast tribes when they get unlocked. Well, Ixal. And also once we finish Ixal, then we'll do allied. So eating haggis as you do. Nope, I'm good. They have lore reasons you're not actively hunted, if I recall. That wouldn't surprise me. This isn't the Final Fantasy. It's never the Final Fantasy. Just put on a glam with a mask and you'll be fine. That would be hilarious. Pretty sure we can still go to the places we're supposed to be banned from. Yes, you can. But if you talk to guards, they're like, hey, I'm supposed to arrest you, but I'm not fucking with the Warrior of Light. Wait, really? That's so fucking funny. I didn't know that. I never tried. That is hilarious. Oh my god. Scotland, oh my god, I'm jelly. Yeah, I get to go visit Fender. This is a long overdue trip. I should have gone 3 years ago for Amsterdam's TwitchCon, and then COVID hit, literally 2 weeks before it. That's when COVID in America was like, hey, everyone quarantine. It was like when the panic set in for everyone. Good thing I didn't, only because my return flight got canceled because of COVID. So I would have been stuck in Scotland. And as much as Fender would have loved that, that would have sucked. Pronoun party. Oh, if you guys want to do a pronoun party, again, no pressure to, but if you do, mine are they, them. It's just to normalize it and make everyone more comfy about their pronouns. Hey, every time I hear answers, I have to scream witness. That's fair. Yeah. Scotland, land of the free, home of the brave. Braveheart. They do. Oh God, I remember you getting fucked by that. Yeah. Oh, I got fucked by the COVID because I didn't get my money back for the hotel. So rip 1K, which is again not Fender's fault. Fender, don't feel bad about it. I know I said no refunds, but even the planes were like, hey, here's credit. Yeah, you did no refunds, but nobody would have predicted a pandemic. The hotel, greedy motherfuckers. Like Pippin said, nobody's actually going to turn on you. Oh, okay. Kath, I'm confused by that flag. I gotta watch your VOD so I know which dungeons to unlock when. Oh, yeah. Those will be up. Those are up. I will edit them at some point, but I don't guarantee that'll be before I leave. Especially since my birthday's coming up. It's gonna be a little busy. That's when they cut off like all international flights and with no direction on what exactly to do. Yup! I would have been stuck. That would have sucked. It's Scotland's flagged on my chatty. Oh, for me, it's a black flag. Yeah. Which is hilarious. Just have River edit. River doesn't know how. That's hilarious. Pretty sure that the airplane companies are actually legally required to offer refunds in those cases, unlike hotels, yeah. Yeah, the hotels just didn't want to be nice, so... it sucks. And it was the money chat raise, so I felt really bad that that happened as well. Because it's like, well, I can't go to the con now. Fuck. Like, we thought about still me going anyway, but not going to the con for safety reasons, because TwitchCon got canceled anyway. It got straight up canceled. So we were like, okay, so should I go anyway? Because all of this is in place. And we'll still do like a meetup. And then it got real serious. And me and Fender were like, no, absolutely not. You tell me not to feel bad, but you feel bad? I feel bad for chat for spending the money. And I wasn't able to fulfill it. That was my responsibility. So why am I not allowed? Because you could never have known that doing a non-cancellation. I see your point. But... but still. I like watching VODs with your chat. That's fair. That's totally fair. I'm pretty sure that the airplane companies are actually... Oh, yeah. Okay, I read that. Nobody could have guessed that was going to happen. Yeah. Nobody could have known. Because in any other case, I would not have canceled. Unless, like, literal emergency health issue. But... yeah. Rip. Logos. That means we're close to the end, right? I was really close to booking a flight for my B-Day that April too. Good thing I didn't do that. Good thing, Tim. See, you had forethought. Oh, wait, special thanks. Who wants to walk my doggies for me? It's snowing here, so not me. Though doggies are cute. It has been snowing for the past 2 days. Ugh. Oofta. Fucking oofta. But yeah, after this, I'm gonna make some din-din. I'm excited. Technically, everyone could have guessed, but what would have been the chances they were right? True. Very true. And who knows, I might edit. Maybe. No snow here, just cold as fuck. Yeah, it's been snowing the last 2 days. There's a lot of snow on some cars. Oh. Chat.
All has been arranged as you desired, my lord.
Why is it so dark? I know it's jail, but I can barely see Raban's face there. If you couldn't see it, that was Raban in jail. Nah, Brialis is no more. The ardor was not his to invoke. His demise was of his own making. Nevertheless, it concerns me. They have extinguished that which should rightly be eternal. Mayhap he was not wholly mistaken. Greater haste may be warranted. We are of one mind. The northern lands, then. The earth is fertile, and the seeds well sown. By my will they shall reap salvation unlike any the world has known. By his will. By his will. I'm sorry? I have answered thy summons, emissary. Speak, and make thine intent known. I would speak of fate, Archon. Yours, mine, the fate of this very star.
A betrayal.
Thou thinkest sanctuary lieth beyond. Delusion, despair, death. Thou shalt find naught else here.
To preserve the dawn's light, the heroes journeyed north. Their hearts filled with hope and eyes fixed heavensward. They said the thing! My left arm. Why is that the achievement, chat? Why you gotta do that to Raban? Why is that the achievement, chat? They said the name!